I'll call to order the Monday, August 4th meeting of the Policy and Procedure Committee. I assume everyone has had a chance to read the notes of the previous meeting. If so, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Old business. I understand the IT policy is still under review by staff. Is that correct?
The IT policy, we were about ready to bring it forward when we just discussed a disposal policy amendment that we wanted to include in that policy. So that will be coming forward in September.
Very good. Is there any other old business? Hearing none, we'll move to new business. The dual review policy. We have an action request. And I assume you've had a chance to read the policy. The action request is that we review the dual review policy and consider a recommendation to Board of Commissioners for adoption.
So moved.
It's moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Van Dorn, I'm sorry.
Well, I think they just did a great job on this policy. So my question is when, explain to me the policy rule. It has to go to the commission, and then is there a time delay, or when does it go into effect?
No, the policy becomes effective after the Board of Commissioners approve it. We just send notification.
Waiting time.
Well, depending, there's no mandatory waiting period. So what would happen is we would push this out to the departments to make sure that they were aware this policy has gone into effect. Depending, and if we're able to do that, you're not going to really have any more board meetings for a couple of weeks to allow people to have notice. So we would work with the departments during September to make sure, but we don't have too many items coming before the commission that are not part of the budget. So I would expect it to be fine. But I would like to, if you don't mind, just kind of highlight a couple of the things on this policy just for the record, because this is a brand new policy. This did come as a result of a request at our last policy and procedures meeting, wherein things that are not included, non-personnel items that are not included in the budget, this committee suggested that we have 2 readings. So as we go through this policy, and I do want to congratulate Carissa Zupke on this. She put a lot of this policy together. So thank you, Carissa, for your efforts in doing so. What this basically says is that there will be a first reading, meaning anything that is coming before the board will you'll get an opportunity to hear it, to question it, and ask any questions that you want to ask. Then you'll have a review period, which is typically 1 full board cycle before it's brought back. During that time, more questions and answers can take place, even if there's some revisions that need to take place as a result, we can do that. Then we have what's kind of called a second reading. And if any of you are familiar with local municipal ordinances, a lot of ordinances have a first and a second reading that follow the same process. So at the second reading, the proposal would be reintroduced and the commission would be voting on it. We did add in a couple exceptions, which I want to bring your attention to. So we wanted to be able to give the commissioners an out. So there is an emergency exception where the committee by a 2/3 vote could waive the policy and act on the item at hand. And then there are some exemptions, which include expenditures that have already been authorized in the county budget, routine disbursements, purchase of contracts, amendments to existing contracts, anything that reaches the threshold that you have already approved the administrator to be able to expend. Those things all fall into that exemption. And then there's a section here that talks about enforcement, which indicates that the board chair and county administrator shall ensure that all qualifying proposals follow this 2-reading requirement. So those are just a few of the items that are highlighted on this policy. And if approved, we would take it to the the August Board of Commissioners meeting.
And
Mr. Van Dorn,
and so if it would pass at the August meeting, it becomes effective immediately?
It becomes effective immediately, as all the other policies do. And then what we try to do is notify departments. So there may be a couple committees that have already established agendas, may have something that have come forward. I'm not aware of that. Normally, if something is going to come through that's non-budgeted, there's a lot of discussion between my office and the department requesting the information. I have not heard of anything coming forward yet. So I think that there will be plenty of time for the departments to receive this policy and have time to ask us questions.
I would question in the very first paragraph, the purpose. This policy requires that all proposals involving non-personnel related expenditures that were not included in the annual budget and so forth. And under exemptions, the very first one says expenditures already authorized in the adopted budget. Isn't there a bit of redundancy there?
Expenditures already authorized in the adopted kind of budget. So that's an exemption from the policy. It is kind of a repeat.
The policy and the purpose states that that's already allowed.
Correct. I mean, all those exemptions actually follow the things that are already allowed.
Okay.
It's simply saying that this policy does not apply to those items. That's another way to read it. But if you want exemptions out, we can take exemptions. It was more so to add clarifying language to the departments.
Yes, okay. I have no questions beyond that. Questions, comments? All right. We have a motion on the floor, am I correct?
Yes.
To review the dual review policy and consider a recommendation to the Board of Commissioners for adoption. Is there any further discussion or comment? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we will move now down to the other business, the September meeting. Originally is scheduled for September 1st, which would be a national holiday. At the airport meeting prior to this, the meeting was moved to September 8th. I would request that we move this meeting to September 8th unless there are some objections. Are there no objections?
Works.
Having no objections, then we will establish this on September the 8th. Is there any public comment? The commissioner comment? Hearing none, I'll entertain motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved and supported during the discussion. Hearing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.